Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and welcome to episode 100 of In Focus Friday. I cannot believe we have got all the way to 100. It's absolutely amazing. Now, before we jump into episode 100, just a very quick reminder about episode 99. It was the Spade Guinea. It's a very, very pretty coin with some incredibly detailed, almost sort of look like laser etched designs on it. I'd highly recommend that you go and have a look at that if you have not done so already. Now, just to say, first of all, a huge thank you for all of the support to this series along the way. It's been a real pleasure to make all of these episodes, all 100 of them. It was just a random thought that I had very early on in my kind of YouTube days as a way to kind of get a staple, regular kind of series going, or regular episode of something going. It's what all of the sort of advice out there was about how to grow your channel, get something that's regular, something that people will want to tune in for every week. And I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you out there who do and who come to the channel and watch what I'm featuring, and also vote on what is going to be coming up in future episodes. And talking about voting, there will be a vote at the end of this episode. We've got some brand new items to feature, some really cool items actually, so make sure that you stick around and cast your vote at the end of this episode for what you want to see in episode 101. Now, episode 100, of course, is a very special episode. Just look at this bar. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. I can hardly fit it onto the screen of the camera, and if I bring it any closer, we're not going to be able to see the entire thing in all its glory. And of course, it's really heavy, as you can tell. This is a 100-ounce Baird Co bar. It was bought specifically for this episode of In Focus Friday, for episode 100. I wanted to make episode 100 big and special, and say a massive thank you to all of you guys. So I picked this up from the Silver Forum, from Arshimo. He's an incredibly good salesman, I suppose you could call him. He always has such amazing things, people have to buy him almost. And that's what happened when I saw this. I was in the market for getting a large lump of silver anyway, and it was, Arsh has some absolutely amazing deals, some really great priced silver, and of course, because it's all second-hand, it's VAT free, which makes it an incredibly cheaper option than buying perhaps one of these directly from Baird Co themselves. So head on over to the Silver Forum. That's one thing to mention as well. Thank you to them for all of the sponsorship of these episodes too. It's been a real pleasure along the way. But let's have a look at this bar in more detail. So this is a 100-ounce bar. Now, before this, I had a kilo bar, which I've neatly got here next to me, and that was the biggest piece of silver that I had, biggest lump of silver that you could say I had at all in my kind of stack. And now I have surpassed that by over 3 times, because the 100 ounces here is 3.1 kilos worth of silver, which is absolutely ridiculous. One thing that always keeps on amazing me about silver and gold as well is the just sheer density of the metal and the weight of the metal. Something this size should not feel this heavy, and it's very strange for the brain to kind of get its head around almost. It's really, really weird, and this is incredibly heavy stuff, and I'm sure any of you out there who have had the fortunate experience of handling a 100-ounce bar have experienced the same. Now, of course, one thing that absolutely drew me to this bar when Arsh put it up on the Silver Forum were the ripples in it. And you know me on my channel with my hand pulled silver, I love looking at ripples, I love creating ripples in silver, and this one is really very pretty indeed. Now, you can see it's got a whole bunch of dings and dents in it, and that's fine. These are very much made as just giant bullion weight bars, and it's very much a bullion weight investment for myself. Whether or not one day this will end up being melted down for backyard bullion hand poured silver, I don't know, or whether it will just be kept as that large weight, sort of basically just bullion weight investment that will liquidate at some point when the silver prices are right. I tell you what, the weight of this is really quite heavy. It's putting quite a strain on my arm. I'm kind of holding it up off the table at the moment. That's quite a good bit of, who needs dumbbells when you've got a 100-ounce silver bar? That will work just as well. So let's just have as close a look as possible now. I'm going to be able to not hold this for a very long time because it is incredibly heavy. But here we have the top of the bar with the Baird Co London stamp. Now, Baird Co are a very good bullion dealer here in the UK. They're probably one of the biggest kind of bullion dealer type companies out there, and they produce not only silver bars but big gold bars as well. I've seen kilo gold bars of theirs featured on actually other YouTube channels. There's one where somebody gets it under a hydraulic press and crushes it, and that's very cool indeed. Now I'm not going to do that with this one, but at the same time, you know, it's a really, really cool big old chunk of silver from London. It's not hallmarked or anything, but obviously it's got, you know, it's actually got a sort of serial number down there. Now originally when I bought this from Archimo, and when they're sold from Baird Co, they actually come with a sort of certificate almost that's, well, it's a certificate that's inside some plastic that the bars are wrapped in. I took that off. Now that's going to be a potentially contentious issue for some people, saying, oh, you've damaged the value of the bar, you've taken the COA off, and you know, I just binned it. It really wasn't really what I needed. It's ultimately down to each person. I wouldn't recommend you do that, certainly if you're in it to sort of flip this and sell it on to somebody else at a profit. You know, having that cellophane over it and having that COA underneath is obviously really important. But I like my silver. I like to be able to feel my silver and touch my silver, and I'm already getting fingerprints all over this one, as you can see. And I gave it a good old polish actually before we got here, so I'm just let's buff it up again. But yeah, you know, I wouldn't recommend taking the cellophane off it. It's not necessarily the best thing to do in terms of the value of this. But at the end of the day, this is just a lump of silver. It is just going to be there as a bullion weight investment, or even melted down one day into backyard bullion hand poured silver. But what really drew me to buying this is, well, a couple of things. First of all, I wanted to show something absolutely epic on episode 100, but just look at the ripples on this. So let's get that angle again where you can see all of the ripples. This is awesome, and it's so sort of subtle. It really is like waves on a beach or waves in a pool, and that's what I'm going to aspire to. This 100-ounce bar is the goal one day. I know I haven't even done a kilo bar, and a kilo bar is the next thing that is on sort of the goal list, the wish list for backyard bullion. I know there's a lot of you out there who want kilo bars, and I will get around to doing that at some point, I promise. But 100-ounce bar one day, backyard bullion style, with all of those huge lovely ripples. If I can do that, that's a life achievement. That's a bucket list life achievement. I really do hope that I can produce something this beautiful with these subtle ripples at some point, and yeah, we'll see. But that's what kind of really drew it to me. Of course, it's so, you know, it's, I wouldn't say it's necessarily hand poured. It's probably machine poured into a mold. You know, something like this is made, you know, I say mass produced, there's not going to be thousands of them, but as you can see the serial numbers, you know, 731 at least. So there's quite a lot of these being made. So I would imagine that it's been kind of machine poured, or at least sort of in a factory style setting with very regulated sort of machine technology. Of course, it looks like the silver was incredibly hot when it was poured, because it's absolutely perfectly taken the mold. You can't even see, you know, with lots of hand poured silver, you can see where the first bit of silver hits a mold, and you can't even see that here. Of course, on the sides you can't even see the kind of the folds of the silver as it's coming up and cooled. So it must have been an incredibly hot piece of silver when it went into the mold, and consequently that's probably why it's got all of these ripples, because it stayed liquid for so long and then cooled from the bottom up most likely, and had all of these ripples created as it came. So yeah, that is a 100-ounce silver bar. It is absolutely awesome. As I said, not completely decided what I'm going to do with it, whether it's going to be something for me to keep for the long term. Of course, that's one of the beauties of silver generally. You know, if you buy something like this to feature on a channel, ultimately you can look to sell it on. And because I didn't buy it from Baird Co directly without, you know, not paid VAT on it, could quite easily sell this to somebody if it was something that floats your boat. So if you've seen this and it's a must-have for you, then do get in touch. I might be able to do you a good price on it. Otherwise, let me know your thoughts generally on the 100 bar size. Do you like it? Do you have 100 ounces yourself? I think it's so satisfying. I mean, the next task for me is to get a 5 kilo silver bar, I guess, to share with you guys at one point. Whether or not I will, I don't know, but it's very tactile. It's so satisfying to just heft up and to hold this. And of course, I've been teasing you all with the huge table slams that have been going throughout this last couple of weeks. So there we go. That is episode 100 of In Focus Friday, a giant 100-ounce bar. Do comment with your thoughts on that. So, business is as usual now for the forthcoming episodes. We have got a number of different items. So we've got some silvers. Let's actually have a bit of a zoom in first so that we get a little closer down. So we have a number of options for you guys to vote on. The first here is the St. Helena trade dollar, which is very, very cool indeed. So if you'd like to see that in more detail, then let me know. The next one is a Fiji Rising Mermaid. I've seen a few people show this, and I think it's an interesting coin. It's something that it's not for everybody, and that makes it slightly interesting. So if you would like to see that, then please do comment. And then we have some gold shininess for you guys as well. And I showed this on my Wednesday video, and this is an Austrian 4 Ducat coin. And what's really special about this is the thickness of it, if you can see there. Incredibly thin coin. So please do comment if you like that. That actually will come with a Brucey bonus item, which is a tiny 1 Ducat coin as well. Oop, that's not on camera. A 1 Ducat coin as well. So do comment down below what you'd like to see. Thank you to everybody who has continued to watch, whether you've been watching all 100 episodes of In Focus Friday or whether you've just joined today. Thank you so much for all of the support that you have given across these last 100 episodes. I have not missed a week yet, so if you'd like to see more, then please hit that subscribe button and hit the alarm bell if you would like to get notifications when these videos go live. Otherwise, that is all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend ahead, and please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.